Hello everyone and welcome back to PGP Motorsports Park for the 7th race of the winter 2024-2025 season. We're starting here with our last chance qualifying, in which we only have about 10 drivers here, and with these 10 drivers it's the top 4 that need to finish in order to progress to this final. We got a little bit of a rainy day right here, and this is of course the 7th race, meaning that it is the race before the final race. Only one more race after this one to finalize the championship points.
So because it's a rainy day, it's really hard to discern who's who. Everybody's got those good gray race suits because it's the oversuit to protect against the weather. I'm pretty sure that's Todd up in front in first. That's Manny in fourth. I could identify them any day, but everyone else looks like they blend in together. A real news story here, the guy who was in second in this heat race, William Yee, is starting from the back because he lost control of the final turn of the final lap and dropped from second place all the way to last, and that's why he's in the LCQ. Anyway, they turn to the front straight now, the flag bearer waves the flag's waved and they're away! The track is really wet, it just rained a lot, so going into these first few corners is going to be treacherous. Let's see how they control it going into turn 1, or in a roller coaster, rather.
Yeah, seeing some bobbling over the curves. Let's see if they can all get through it. Oh, big water splash right there.
But they're all on track.
They're all on track. So they're just clearing a little bit of water off the track. I didn't hear any impact at the barrier, but oh my goodness, the people in the back got to be soaked right now, as if they weren't already going to be. But first place, it looks like Todd might have ran away with it a little bit.
Absolutely.
And I think he's going to secure his spot in the final here. And the big battle is with William Yee in the back, trying to carve his way up if he hasn't already done so.
I'm trying to scope out where he's at, and I think he might have found his way into third already. Like, really capitalized on a good race start. We'll get the names for you as they cross the line to finish the lap, but so far, it looks like they're all make it, and they're, unfortunately for Manny, who started in fourth, he dropped back several positions.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of contact there as well. He's going to try to take those outside wet lines right there and just try to get anything back, and it looks like there might have been a spin out in the back here in that turn 4, but the battle's still going on between Manny and
Nick,
as it looks like Nick has to fall back as he's taking the inside line there.
So it looks like Todd ran away with it. I'm trying to identify who's in second. I want to say that is Tellen in second, but we'll get the names for sure. He's side by side going into turn 1, and he concedes the point for better grip because he knows he's in the top 4. No need to fight too hard. Just keep it on track. The guy who's in second now is like, what the heck? There's a lot of hand gestures going on, but none of them bad. I think there was just some confusion. That's all.
Yeah, there might have been some back and forth there, but it looks like the battle not quite kicking off. It's just an illusion of perspective. Oh, nope, never mind. It does go into 2 wide as we go into double apex here. Person on the outside should have all the speed to be able to capitalize off that. Oh, no. Person on the inside was able to hold their grip very well, and they'll have the outside for light bulb. And they are going to maintain that 2 wide through the trickiest corners on the track, but eventually straighten up as they go through top of the world.
So, bad news. The laptop disconnected from the internet, so I don't get the tracker. Good news is I have a cell phone, so I'm just gonna pull it up on my phone and let's see what my phone has to say.
Looks like we see a dive on the inside. Another person in a red suit behind Manny gets the overtake. I think that's Nick with the red visor.
I'm not focused on the race right now, but Manny's the one in the full red suit with the blue helmet. Nick is the pink suit, green helmet. Here we go, live timing. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like the biggest battle is this battle of 4 right here. They're all outside of the LCQ range, but they're fighting for points, for whatever they can get.
By the way, that is Alex in front of Manny, currently fighting there. I got the names up. So, as they cross the line, let me get you those names. Now we got Todd in first, followed by Joseph Checkers in second, William Yee in third, and Tellen, I got his name right as well, in fourth. That's our current top 4. In 5th place is Alex, fighting off Manny and Nick. And at the end of that train is Addison. So that's our top 8.
And the battle is like really intense here with Manny trying to make a little bit of a move on the inside there.
Man, this battle for fifth is crazy.
Oh, just outside. Oh, just a little bit of a wheel dipped into the grass, and it looks like more of a wheel was dipped in the grass for Manny as he falls all the way back to the back of this 4-cart pack.
Yeah, that was Alex Acosta riding the knife's edge, using all of the track available and nearly going off, but he carried so much momentum.
Manny does dive back up on the inside through top of the world and makes that overtake stick. Very impressive.
Yeah, that is on Addison, who is in the back of that train of four. But our current top four are kind of doing their own thing. Todd, Joey Checkers, William, and Tellin. So that's, unless this train can catch up to the top four, which they might be able to if they stop fighting each other so hard.
But there's that cutback from Nick, and they're going to be side by side going down the back straight.
Nick's got the inside, so
he will back out, though.
Back out, okay.
It is safer to do that on the conditions.
In these conditions, while you can make the inside overtake work, it is very tricky to do so. Our top three have converged on each other, actually.
And
so we may see some battles in the top. As they come around turn one, down the front straight, that's still Todd leading. He no longer is running away with it. And that's Joey Checkers bump drafting Todd. That's a power move if I've ever seen one.
Joseph Checkers, didn't he finish on the podium in the last race?
It is worth noting that both Joey Checkers and William Yee are lapping at least a second faster than Todd, who was their leader. So it's up to Todd to defend now. Todd's pace isn't as great as we thought it would be. For whatever reason. I think
he has Joseph Checkers and William Yee behind him. Both of them are regular pro finalists, and Joseph Checkers was literally, I believe, fighting for the podium, fighting for the lead in the snow race just in the last, for race 6.
Yeah. So these top three are usually in the finals, so we're getting final tier stuff in the LCQ. And Tellin, who's in fourth, is just racing his own race. He's got plenty of gap both in front and behind. He just needs to secure his position. So Nick, who is now in fifth, is on a charge to try to get up to Tellin, but we'll see if he's able to.
Manny pushing his car super far, going super wide into that turn 5, turn 4 S-bend right there. He's going to want to get all the speed out of there, and Manny's going to be blessed by the battle that's about to erupt right behind him as we see the drivers behind Manny going too wide into turn 3.
Speaking of too wide, we got a battle for second. It might turn into a battle for the lead. That is Joey Checkers and William Yee side by side. William now going on the inside of turn 1. He's taking the midline, not really much grip there. And he's going to opt not to hit the curb because there might be grip. There is grip.
There is grip.
There is grip. It's not as wet as we thought. The rain did let up, and it's not as cold as it usually is. So the track is drying ever so slightly, and William's privy to that, and he takes second place away from Joseph Checkers.
This probably feels like a cakewalk to some of these people who were literally racing in the ice and snow in our last race.
Yeah, we've gone from ice and snow to just warm and wet. Yeah. It's still cold. I say warm and wet. It's not that warm out here.
It's like
but it's
50 degrees
50
Fahrenheit.
So it's usually colder than this. It's good, though. It's warming up.
Yeah, top of the world and into bus stop, our leaders are going through. And then we're going to see these S-curves here. We can see how they masterfully navigate it, as it looks like we see a little bit of a jab onto the inside of Todd here.
Oh, yeah, William wants this. William's fighting. I think Joey Checkers is just going to sit back and let this unfurl while still keeping up with the pack, but William's the one making all the aggressive moves.
And will we see an aggressive move through pace alone?
Todd defending the inside as well.
It looks like I see bump drafting here. He wants to separate himself from Joseph because of the previous battle that happened.
Absolutely. Here's the thing, though. Todd's the cork in the bottle. But Todd's going to have that inside line going into 2. William going on the outside. There's grip on the outside, but you can't hang it around there for too long. William getting back in, defending his position from Joseph Checkers behind. It's pretty close to call here. They're all going to be really tight together in these wet conditions. William opts for the inside, which is going to be the outside of 2 there. Side by side, down the front straight, going into roller coaster.
Joseph's going to push him through past Todd.
Ooh.
And Joseph's right there, and that is going to be 2 positions
that was a 2
lost.
for 1. That's unfortunate for Todd, who lost out 2 positions at once going into turn 1, but all is not lost. He's still in the top 4. He's still going to make it to the final. He's just going to be back 1 row.
And that is unless he's able to learn from the drivers ahead of him and then push back and charge back to take any positions back to get on that
Speaking
front
of
row.
charging back, someone went off in the light bulb.
Yeah,
That's unfortunate. So, he was...
I believe.
Oh, wait, no! That was Talon! He was in 4th!
Oh, so that means someone else is promoted to the top 3. Speaking of the top 3, there's a huge battle going on. 2 wide between Todd and possibly Joseph Checkers here, or did William Yee fall back?
They're all wearing gray race suits and black helmets. Let me roll perception again.
I'll zoom in.
So that's William Yee in front. Oh,
That might be Todd in second.
yeah, I think Todd's in second. I'll get a better look when they come down the front straight.
And then Joseph Checkers fell off, but promoted to 4th.
Nick is promoted to 4th. So that it's really important that you keep all 4 wheels on track in these tricky conditions. That really hurts. I know exactly how that feels. You had it in the bag and you just drop it. You fumble it. It happens to the best of us.
Especially around light bulb right there. It's a super steep incline to get back on the track and required track help to get back up.
Yeah, the tricky part about light bulb, the way to take it in these conditions, you have to drift it around the outside of a more than 180-degree bend. It is a very long corner, and it's very hard to take in in these wet conditions. If you mess it up slightly, you're in the dirt, as we saw. There's no curb on the outside to save you there. So if you're on the edge of the track, if you slip off the track, that's game.
And here we'll see them take that line around the outside. Just trying to keep the cart as straight as possible so that way they can get the maximum amount of power down.
So I bet Nick's pretty happy about that.
Yep,
Yeah.
just promoted into 4th.
So yeah, he'll be making it into the LCQ. And it's up to Manny now to see if he can fight. I'm not sure if Manny realizes he's actually in 5th.
And he can fight to get into the final here.
But the battle's
A
on
lot of
now.
bobbling as they go over the curbs there. 0 suspension on these things.
Battle's on now for 2nd place between Joey Checkers and the defending Todd.
Yep, just trying to get into that, not the last row of the final spot.
This is a battle for a row position in the final. Because you want to be a row ahead. That's it. Oh, Manny finds himself in the grass.
Oh, no.
It was just a big splash out of turn 4. So we were just talking about, can Manny fight up to Nick? Unfortunately, he fought a little too hard and found himself in the puddle. But all is not lost. He's still on track. He didn't spin out. He just lost a lot of time. And that let Alex actually get past. So now it's up to Alex to try to bring the fight to Nick.
Yep. With quite the gap, but the gap between 2nd and 3rd, not so much. William Yee was able to make it through. Todd was able to take his position back, and that's been affecting Joseph's race to be able to fight with William Yee here.
Actually, according to the timing, that's not Alex, that's Addison in 5th. Addison could potentially fight its way back up into 4th, depending on his lap times. Unfortunately, him and Nick are setting the same lap times. They're only off by a 10th, and it goes back and forth each lap. So they're setting the same pace. It's up to Nick to spin out. No.
Yeah, just got to keep all 4 tires on the track, and you can get that spot in the final
you
secured.
can keep all 4 tires on the track and still spin out. We've seen it many times.
Yeah. Yeah, just this race even, at the beginning of like roller coaster and in turn 4 here, and it looks like we got to dive up on the inside. Joseph trying to make a little bit of a move there, but Todd is able to maintain a lot of speed on that outside lane, and that dive amounts to nothing. Except for this momentum that he has here, and which he's going to utilize to push up to the inside of Todd here. And is he going to keep it there? No, he backs out just at the last second into turn 4.
He realized he may not have the grip, but he's gonna keep the pressure on Todd. Todd knows how to defend this. It's just a matter of execution. And so by keeping a cool head, I know Todd, he's gonna defend it, but I don't think he's gonna risk everything Because you'd rather lose one position in this spot than lose it all, because they still have to finish the race to get into the final. And that's what they're really fighting for. The gap between third and fourth is very large. Let me see if I can get a number. Come on, phone, work with me. The timing sheets are not being kind to me today. That is a 10-second gap between third and fourth. The top three have run away with it, and Nick in fourth is just enjoying himself. There's little chance he'll catch up to the top three, not like he needs to. He just needs to finish ahead of Addison, which Addison actually seems like he is slowly gaining. But I don't think he's going to have enough time. We're entering the closing stages of the LCQ.
And Manny's also slowly catching up to it looks like Manny's also slowly catching up to Addison here as well, after that previous mistake. But the gaps are kind of growing here, especially between Joseph Checkers and Todd here, the battle that we've been watching all race.
I think Joseph Checkers realizes that at this stage of the game, he can push, but I feel like he's conserving his energy for the final. While it would be advantageous to start in the row ahead, he's still making it to the final. So while the advantages are relatively marginal, an advantage is still an advantage, and you still want everything you can out here. I'd say there's about 2 laps left, I would wager.
Yeah, it does look like the battling has slowed down a little bit. Although it looks like Manny's now really catching up to Addison. The gap has shrunk quite a bit in the last lap.
Oh, yes. I mean, this isn't a battle for the final position, but Manny's on a charge to just score more points. So, the LCQ, how it works, the top 4 get promoted to the final where they could score a lot more points, but every position counts for more points. So even if you're near the back of the LCQ, it's still worth fighting for position to maximize the amount of points you get for the championship.
Looks like the gap closed up again between Joseph Checkers and Todd.
I think Joseph actually passed Todd while I wasn't looking.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Joey Checkers passed Todd. Oh, man. He did it when I wasn't looking. Can you do it again? I wasn't looking.
Yeah. Yeah, so it looked like he may have given Todd the space or whatever, and then there might have been like a little... Perhaps there was a mistake that led to this overtake, but...
I mean, it looks like Joey Checkers has slightly better momentum down the straights. That might have something to do with it.
Yeah, he just gave himself the space to be able to take advantage of the momentum to fling himself past on a turn.
All
perhaps.
Things considered, not the worst outcome for Todd. He was leading. He's down to third. He's still in the final. He's just not as far forward in the final. The flag bearer waves the white flag. It's the final lap. So if you're going to make a move, now's the time to do it.
And speaking of moves, it looks like the gap has shrunk substantially now for Manny and Addison, and that battle's going to kick off for this final lap of the race.
All right, we're going to see Manny on the charge, see if he can get past Addison.
He's taking a more conventional racing line in these wettish conditions near turn 1.
Ooh.
He's definitely risking a little bit more.
Well, yeah, it's the LCQ. At this point, I feel it's worth it to take the big risks. Because even though I just said you want to maximize points, there's a big difference between losing a top 4 position to get in the final and just gaining a marginal position for extra points. Because this is your last chance. In my opinion, you might as well send it. Responsibly, of course.
Yeah, don't want to ruin someone else's race and your own.
Woo, Todd sneaking in. Battle for second. Todd sneaks in, hooks it on the curb. And Aiden also hooks it on the curb, going back and forth. But Aiden gets it back on the inside. Todd's going to have better momentum going in. And he sticks it on the inside of turn 4. He's not going to have the better
But then
exit.
there's the cutback.
And Aiden gets the cutback.
The brilliant cutback in turn 4. He's going to have all the momentum, and he's going to go all the way for turn 3. Although Todd is right there to sneak that right back from him. and he's going to push as far as he can. He's putting all of his weight onto those
They're
outside
going
tires.
back and forth. They changed positions about 5 times in the span of 5 corners.
And in that fight, the gap built up so much that now we're seeing William E. cross the line to win the LCQ, and then back to the battle for second and
It's a
third.
drag race to the line, but Aiden, or rather, Joey Checkers gets the inside, but Todd gets the better momentum
back.
and steals it at the last moment.
And then the battle between Manny.
Nick takes 4th, but the battle, can Manny get Addison?
No,
it doesn't
he
seem
cannot.
like
He
it.
just falls just outside of it after taking that inside line. And that'll be our LCQ. That'll be those dramatic battles leading across the line. And we're going to see you next at the final.
Start.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the final for the 7th race of the winter season. We're at the penultimate race here. You get one more race after this to secure the best points possible to get that championship lead. And speaking of leading, we have some very interesting names in the pole position and starting in the top here.
I mean, their names are pretty good. We got Shem Aiken on pole. He is a former championship winner several years ago who beat Paulo Pettini in equal machinery. And next to him is the Rainmeister himself in rainy conditions. That's Scott Miller in second. In third place, we have our defending champion, Paulo Pettini. And in fourth, we have Spencer. And in row 3 is Alex Seguin and Sergey Kostov. That's our top 6. They're going to round turn 1. They're going in the reverse direction today, so this is turn 1. They line up down the front straight, 2 by 2, side by side, equal rows of 2, nice and easy. Flag bearer raises the flag. The flag's waved and they're away. And Shem gets a great start. He's going to have a good inside line, and Paulo's going to be battling the Rainmeister, who's going to be on the outside and doesn't quite get it. They all keep it in, and emerging from there, they come as they went in. So we got Shem in the lead. Paulo around the outside and takes second place away from the Rainmeister. That was a brilliant overtake around the outside, got all the momentum, and now it's up to our Rainmeister Scott, who dropped back to third. And in all that carnage, Sergey jumped from 6th to 4th.
We have someone spinning out at light bulb here, but they're going to recover onto the track, hopefully not lose too much time, but they lost a lot of positions.
All things considered, good race start. Most of them kept it facing forward for the first several turns.
Yeah, that is an impressive feat right there. And here we see Paulo already challenging Chad Aiken through these sequence of corners here. He might try to go for the cutback, and he does indeed go for the cutback, and he has the momentum, it looks like, and he might get this position secured unless Chem Aiken can throw anything back at him. We're going to go into turn 4. Paulo's going to defend against the cutback, and Chem Aiken has nothing to throw, as it looks like we have another spin out in the middle of turn 4. But Paulo claims the lead. Chem Aiken not done with it yet. Gonna try to battle up against Paulo Pettini, but Paulo, a master in the rain. He's honestly like a rain god out here, because whenever we get a wet final out here, I feel like I always see Paulo just several seconds ahead.
So many things happened in the span of 5 corners. Let me summarize really quick. Paulo took the lead of the race against Shem, so they're reigniting their old championship battles from several years ago. In all that carnage, Sergey, our previous race winner, found himself into third, dethroning the Rainmeister from the podium positions.
And they're all going to roar down the front. It looks like an overtaking move is going to be thrown on Thomas Heacock into Roller Coaster, but Thomas isn't going to take that laying down. He's going to fight back through Roller Coaster. They're going to be side by side going out of double apex here. Thomas is going to have the inside line, but that might not be the best line in these wet conditions, but he's going to prove it is. Moves his way out to the outside and defends his spot.
Woo! Bad news again, the internet just disconnected, so I'm going to have to get the names on mobile again. Fortunately, it's a lot easier since I recognize a lot more of these finalists up front. It's because I've raced with them for several years, it's easier to recognize them from way up here in the distance. So Paulo in the lead, followed very closely by Chem and Sergey. Chem is really pushing. I could see him sending the cart into a power slide nearly every corner and just conserving every ounce of momentum.
Look at, he just kicked it sideways to just try to get that inside line into turn 5. Very fun to look at.
Chem knows how to be extremely aggressive but controlled.
And
it
looks
that's
like
paying dividends as he gets the inside of turn 3. Here they go. Chem's got that inside. He's gonna take that lead away from Paulo. And now Paulo's gonna fight back.
It looks like he's purposefully destabilizing the cart to just send it sideways at maximum speed through the corners.
And he regains control. The amount of control and ability required to do that, it's like he has no fear. He's risking it all, but to him it's not a risk. It's just another day in the office. This is what it takes to go toe-to-toe with Paulo in equal machinery.
And here we have Paulo bump drafting him down the front straight. Paulo's going to back off, going into roller coaster a little bit.
So while they may not have a championship battle, this is a very fierce battle. I would say this is almost a battle of pride, to be honest. While Chem isn't in championship contention because he hasn't gone to every race this season, he's still one of the only people out here to consistently bring the fight to Paulo. And as we can see, it's paid dividends. Now, here's the thing. The gaps aren't spreading yet. They're still relatively in a pretty packed train in these conditions. Paulo sends it in. There's contact. And Paulo concedes the position, but he's still fighting very hard. Chem defending.
Chem also throwing up a hand side like, hey, why'd you touch me like that?
Yeah. Technically, this is ideally a non-contact sport, but in these conditions, it's very hard to avoid contact, but there's a lot these racers can do to maintain control of the car.
Looks like Paulo and Sergey are going for the bump draft. Sergey is still right here for this fight.
And up with them, I'm going to see if I can identify that fourth place racer who has now found his way into the battle. He has a white helmet. That might be Drew, but I'm not sure. Thin white helmet. Let me get my timing sheet on my phone.
Yeah, he's throwing some half moves at Sergey as well. He's fighting for that podium.
Ain't no way that's Joey Checkers up front.
What?
That's Joey Checkers up front.
Joey Checkers starting from the back of the row.
First charge. No wonder I didn't recognize him, because I just thought he was going to be in the back with the rest of the LC kid. No, he charged through the field. What the hell? Sorry.
And Thomas here, bringing that fight to Joseph Checkers after being passed by him. We have a battle, a five-way battle for first in wet conditions.
Woo. And in that five-way battle is one of the LCQ finalists who started in the back of the pack, carved his way through the field, and is now fighting for a podium spot. That is nothing short of impressive. That's insane.
That is crazy. He is
all equally crazy. In the charge is Todd, who was also in the LCQ. The LCQ people!
He's right there. And unfortunately, it's the Rainmeister that's suffering the most from him after starting on second place, or the pole lineup, dumped all the way back down to near 10th.
Okay, this may sound wild, but hear me out. The LCQ finalists did not change out their carts. They just refilled them. Their tires were still warm. Everyone else's tires were cold, which gives them an advantage to overtake, and I'm sure they're capitalizing on that while the race is still in the early stages, because once everyone else's tires are warmed up to temperature, it's going to be harder to pass. But Todd and Joey Checkers made it work.
Yeah, if they got to stay in the same carts, that's...
They have the option to change carts if they want, and they decided not to.
Well, that makes sense. That does make sense.
Now, the tragedy today is the Rainmeister, Scott, falling all the way down to like 8th place, who started in second. Really unfortunate.
And the battle kicks off again as Paulo takes a deep inside line into double apex, huge water splash, and he's going to be trying to hold up, be the cog in the... Oh, that's a little bit off the track, but Ched saves it and re-overtakes Paulo after that daring move Paulo made right there, and that just brings all five into that cluster, and they're going to be squabbling for any position that they can get, as it looks like someone is unfortunate in that battle and falls off the track there.
Well, not in that battle.
Well, not in that battle, but
in the back, someone fell off the track. But the amount, they like had half the tire dangling off the track. They're on the edge of the knife's edge.
Yeah, 3 tires on the track, 1 tire in the grass, and that still and he's still able to put the cart in the right spot to re-overtake someone after being overtaken and put into that position.
That's what I like to call leaving nothing on the table. They are giving everything they have, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's not a little bit personal between Paulo and Chem here. Because, like I said, Chem is one of the only racers out here to dethrone Paulo in the championship in equal machinery.
And then here we have Sergey still right on the back there. Joseph Checkers and Thomas
in the hunt,
looking for any mistake to potentially get their spot on the podium.
Furthermore, in the hunt is Spencer, followed by Todd, and behind him is William Yee. We're seeing the LCQ finalists carve up through the field.
And Paulo makes a move on the inside going into roller coaster, and he's going to try to hold his spot there. Hopefully when he makes a move that early, he's able to get the momentum. But they're side by side, 2 by 2 by 2, and we see Chem in the lead there, and we see a little bit of a water splash.
Thomas going around the outside, very bold move, trying to make that stick, and he steals it from Joey Checkers, Thomas does.
But Joe Checker's still right there, and it's 3 wide, and there's a little bit of craziness going on as Sergey tries to dive up to the inside to maintain his third place spot, as Thomas still tries to make it 2 wide through bus stop. The battle's still going on. Joseph tries to give a bump draft to Sergey to try to follow him through past Thomas, but it does not pan out as they end up still, and they're saying, and then there's still more chaos as Thomas comes in, Todd comes in, there's bump drafting, changing, transitioning of momentums, and Thomas is hung out to dry on a little bit on the outside, just behind Joseph Checkers, and it looks like Todd is going to make a move up on the inside against Thomas, and there's a huge curb bump right there, and the battle is still intense as they're still stuck here. Hand gestures are being waved as they're like, what is going on with all this contact and the gap?
That was
great divide gets created.
That is some of the tightest pack racing in these conditions I've seen all season. That is insane, and they're still going.
It's still not
still
over.
Going at it
as we see Spencer
taking the inside, but it's wet. Oh, William gets the cut back. Very devious. Spencer's going to have the inside of turn 1. But there's not as much grip, or is there? Nope.
We're seeing the battle for the front, and it is composed halfway through of LCQ front runners, and the battle between Paulo and Ched is still going on. But this time, it's now a 1v1 duel.
Now, despite everything, our top 3, as the dust settles, has not changed. It's still Chem, followed by Paulo, followed by Sergey. However, everything behind them has exploded. Because behind Sergey is now Joey Checkers, then Thomas.
Which is still the same as before.
William, Spencer, and Todd, and the Rainmeister. I believe that's our top 10 or top big pack.
Top of the big pack, and here we see top of the world, Paulo diving up on the inside, gonna make it 2 wide through bus stop. Ched still trying to hold on, still 2 wide. Paulo goes for the cutback, and he's gonna make his way through, and they're gonna go into the sequence of turn 7s and turn 6, but Ched's gonna throw it up on the inside. Is he gonna have the momentum to
No, he doesn't.
hold it? No, Paulo is able to claim the lead there, but then Chet's gonna take the inside again, and it's gonna be 2 wide going into turn 4.
Oh, Chem is abusing track position.
And then Sergey's right there.
Chem, that is a masterclass from Chem. Paulo sent every trick in the book, and Chem sent every trick right back.
And still, it's Sergey, Joey, and Thomas who falls back and loses the position. Maybe. We'll see how the dust settles as this battle kicks off between Thomas and Todd.
I'm waiting for the dust to settle, but it keeps getting kicked up. They keep bringing it. Oh no! Chem just overdrives it right into the barrier!
Ched Aiken?
Yep, our race leader pulls a Sebastian Vettel in these wet conditions from the lead of the race, and just loses everything. No! And that promotes Paulo to the lead of the race, Sergey into second, and Joey Checkers, who started from the back from the LCQ positions, is now in third.
This battle is so intense. The battle was so intense between Paulo and Chet that I heard the groans from the audience in the pit lane from all the way up here. That's the first time I've ever heard that.
That is heartbreak and a half right there for Chem Aiken.
And Chet is still being pushed back onto the track. The hill was just so steep.
That is race
He
over
has now
for Chet.
just regained the track.
Someone else also went off too in the back, but you don't want to go off in these conditions. It's so muddy. Once you're in this muddy grass, that's it. Your race is over. Oh,
But
that is
aside from-
unfortunate.
But aside from Chet being taken out of this race here, we still have Paulo, Sergey, Joseph Checkers, who is now on the podium, followed behind Thomas, Spencer, Todd. I think that's Todd in there. That might be Willie Mee, who overtook Todd.
I got the name. So we got Paulo, followed by Sergey, Joey Checkers, Thomas, Spencer, William, Todd,
All right, yeah, so I was correct in that
Rainmeister.
assessment.
and who's behind the Rainmeister? It's very far away. I haven't seen him in the race. I'll get his name.
But here we still have our massive pack with Sergey now right behind Paulo. And Sergey now, instead of battling Chet, battling Paulo for the lead of this race.
Now, just because Chem is out of the race does not mean that these two can breathe. We know that Sergey, our previous race winner, very controlled in what he does. Whereas Chem, it's very aggressive. Sergey's very controlled. Sergey won't make a move unless he knows it's going to work. And it's going to be who slips first. It's going to be Paulo's ironclad defense versus Sergey's ability to find a chink in the armor. And they're going around light bulb. There's slight contact in the back, but it's more bump draft than anything. The dust is finally settled, for better or
For a
worse.
little bit,
Just
except for
kidding.
the fact that Joseph Checkers just dived up on the inside and top of the world on Sergey, and they're going to try to make it too wide through bus stop,
Not
but
quite.
Joseph's going to fall back, and then Thomas is going to take advantage of that very aggressive move and claim the third spot on the podium, leaving Joseph behind to defend against Spencer here.
Unfortunate for Joey Checkers, but that's the risk you take when trying to make a move in a train. If you don't make it work, you're going to lose the position, and that's what Thomas does. But he's
But
fighting
he
back.
does not learn any lesson from that as he dives up onto the inside and claims the outside line through the back.
Too much contact.
Oh,
They lost all the momentum for fighting too hard, letting
and it's
Spencer.
3 wide going into turn 4.
Turn 3, Spencer gonna
Or
dive
turn
down
3.
the inside and try to get a 2 for 1. Can he get it? Spencer gets the 2 for 1, but he's still under threat by Thomas, who's on the outside. It's a momentum battle going into turn 2.
And Joseph
Spencer
is
deep
giving
on the
help.
inside. And can he keep it? It doesn't seem like it, because we got Thomas on the inside. He backs out. It took a few corners, but Spencer gets away with a 2 for 1 special. He doesn't get away with it, but that was brilliantly opportunistic.
And claims that third spot on the podium with Thomas and Joseph Checkers right behind.
Now,
And this allows for Paulo and Sergey to run away with it.
yeah, actually, that was bad news for Paulo while this fighting, because that opened a gap between Spencer and Sergey. This lets Sergey have a buffer to safely attack Paulo for the lead. And I'm pretty sure Paulo's now going to be aware of this in his peripheral vision when he sees out the corner of his eye, wait a minute, there's a gap now between second and third. He's going to have to defend a little harder once Sergey catches back
And the
up.
battle isn't over. Joseph throws another move onto the inside of top of the world
Joseph
and to try to
throwing.
get it past Thomas, but that doesn't work, and instead it's Todd who's able to profit off of that and get past Joseph Checkers here.
Joey Checkers throwing haymakers. Unfortunately, they're not really sticking. Also, that's not Todd in front, that is William. Todd's behind
Oh, it's
Joey.
William. Okay.
They're wearing very similar stuff. We got our gang of white wetsuits and black helmets. It's because Todd's the one with the GoPro. And boy, I hope that GoPro is on today. We've got a lot of action.
A crazy amount of action. And did Chet return to the pit lane, or is he?
I'm pretty sure Chem. I'm looking for him.
He might have moved back. Or,
Yeah, I think Chem's done for the day. After that, unfortunate, but he gave it his all. Speaking of giving it all, it is the white flag is out. Final lap, Paulo in the lead, followed closely by Sergey. Then we got Spencer, Thomas, William, Joey Checkers, Todd, Rainmeister. That is our top positions. So we'll see how this pans out. It's the final lap. I think the battle for third is going to be what's to look at. We got Thomas in the high-vis suit trying what his every best to get past Spencer, but Spencer knows how to secure a podium.
Yes, he does. And we have Thomas, who
Spencer
does
defending
not
deep the inside.
care about that. In fact, Thomas takes an extremely wide line, and he's going to go for the cutback in there, and he's going to secure third place after an insane cutback with all the momentum. And he's going to be trying to take that as far as he can, but Spencer is not done. He's going to dive up on the inside, and he's able to put his cart in the perfect position to have Thomas transfer all the momentum he had into Spencer.
Textbook defense and reclaiming position from Spencer there. Like diving down the inside, and while Thomas would have the better momentum, Spencer closes the door and doesn't let Thomas take advantage of that momentum. Brilliant move by Spencer. He just turns that momentum into a bump draft, says thank you very much, and reclaims his spot. But we got a couple of corners to go.
William E. looking like making a half move on Thomas there, but it is going to be about the drag race to the line. And Sergey might try to do everything he can. He's not in lunging distance, so it'll be all about the momentum through here. But it looks like Sergey's just going to safely follow across the line as he wins the final of the 7th race. Sergey in 2nd, and then drag race does not happen. Spencer in 3rd, followed by Thomas, William Yee, Joseph Checkers, and Todd.
Yep.
And then after that, Rainmeister.
Yep.
And then everyone else falls in line right there. And that'll be the end of the 7th race of the final. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to...
We're going to start off with a 3rd place out there. Getting a best lap time of 102.137. We got a good battle for 3rd place with Thomas in 4th. Back and forth on the last lap. 2.224 off the lead. Spencer Foot! Nice job, dude. Coming in 2nd place out there with the best lap time of a 102.011. Half a second off the leader, keeping everyone else behind him, securing that 2nd place spot. Sergey, come on, stuff! Nice job, Sergey. And with the, let me just double check. Best lap of the race went to Colin Flynn, by the way, with a 101.831. Nice job, Colin. Coming in 1st place with the best lap of a 101.967. Going back and forth with who was the leader for the first half of the race until he had the see in turn 2. Drove a great race out there. Controlled it well. 1st place, Paolo Pettini. Three, two.